G'day, have I got a story for you? Check the disclaimer. Season 1, Episode 27, Totally Unexpected. As I wake up on a hospital bed, and I quickly sit up, I hear a desperate voice say, "Lola!" I look for the person who spoke, but there's no one else here. Why am I in a hospital? What happened to me? Immediately I realize that everything seems, wrong. The sunlight coming in the window is just not sunlight. There are 2 chairs in the corner and a small table with a flower in a vase. Oh, what is wrong with that flower? Where is its fragrance? Where is its light? Does it really exist? If it does not exist, then am I imagining all this? No, because the room, the bed, the chairs, the cupboard, and the vase all exist. I'm sure of it. It's like the flower exists as though it's not a flower. But it is a flower. I can see it. This is so confusing. A man walks into the room and stands at the end of the bed. "Is this a hospital?" I ask. "Are you a doctor? What happened to me?"
"Tell me what you remember,"
he orders. I don't remember what happened to me," I answer. "Was I in an accident? Am I sick?" He asks.
"Do you remember me?"
"No," I answer. "Should I?" I suddenly notice what he is thinking. How do I know what he is thinking? People don't do this, do they? Know other people's thoughts? Am I a person? Maybe not.
"What am I thinking?"
the man asks. I take notice of his thoughts so I can answer his question. Oh, his memories. The deeper I go. Ooh. I seem to have what I would call an instantaneous insertion of information from his mind to mine. Such horrible, harrowing thoughts and memories. I want to get away from this man with such horrible thoughts. I use all my strength to make sure I show no outward reaction at all. Somehow I know that I must not react.
"What am I thinking?"
He raises his voice.
"Tell me what I am thinking immediately."
I don't like the way he is speaking to me, and I would prefer not to tell him what he is thinking. I wouldn't like to acknowledge that thoughts like his would even exist. I'll tell him what I am thinking instead. Yeah. I think about little yellow flowers, so I can truthfully tell him. I am thinking about smelling the pretty yellow flowers that Lola says are weeds. I hope this gives me a moment to work out which truthful answer to give as to what he is thinking. I don't think I could even say some of those repulsive thoughts.
"No! I don't want to know what you are thinking,"
he says with his voice still raised.
"Tell me, who is Lola?"
I don't know anyone named Lola, I answer. Do I? I recall someone saying that name when I woke. He frowns.
"You told me that Lola says the yellow flowers are weeds."
I ask, are you sure that's what I said? Who is Lola?
"Who told you that the yellow flowers are weeds?"
he asks impatiently. I try to remember my answer. I was thinking about smelling the pretty yellow flowers that the woman says are weeds. Is that what I said before? I think that is what I said. I'm not sure. Did I say Lola? Who is she? He sighs with frustration and says,
"What am I thinking? Tell me immediately."
I hesitate, then ask, could you please tell me what you were thinking? then I will be able to tell you. This is the truth. I can't tell him what he is thinking right now because I don't know, and I don't want to find out by seeing his thoughts. If he tells me, I'll know, and then I can answer his question. We have a conversation about how people communicate, using their speech and body language, or drawing, or writing it down, and many other ways, but most people don't know each other's thoughts. This conversation ends with him screaming at me.
Tell me what I am thinking! I know you can do this. You have done it before. Tell me immediately.
Wow, he is so loud. I don't remember telling him before. I don't remember him at all, although I saw myself in his horrendous memories. Did he really do those things to me? I don't understand why adults seem to take such pleasure in hurting others. Well, most of the adults that I've met, anyway. It makes no sense to me. If he politely asks me, without all this yelling and screaming, and explains to me why, I would consider just finding out one thing he is thinking, right on the top of his thoughts, so I can tell him. I would make sure that I wouldn't go deep into all those awful memories that he keeps locked away in his mind. However, if he wants to yell and scream at me, I don't think I want to answer him at all. No, thank you, I say politely. He waits a moment, still extremely angry, then opens the door. A woman dressed like a nurse walks in. He grabs her by the throat and squeezes. She offers no resistance.
If you don't tell me what I am thinking, I will keep squeezing.
He half growls at me.
So what happens to her will be your fault.
No, it won't, I tell him. It would be your fault. I change my mind and decide to tell him what he is thinking, on the tip of his thoughts, since they are suddenly so incredibly loud that I can't help but know. You're thinking that you hope I don't know that you intend to murder this woman, whether I answer you or not. She is not a nurse, even though you made her dress in nurse's clothing. He looks shocked, so I continue. You think of her as one of your failed experiments. Now you're thinking of Lola as another failed experiment. They are both glitching too much, and then suddenly make a mess with bodily fluids and excretions everywhere, which is what they all do just before you murder them. He loosens his grip on the woman's neck slightly, and she gasps for air. Lola is uppermost in his thoughts, the woman in the house on the surface. She glitches. I call it gone to the moon. It is like her body is still there, but her mind goes away, a long way away. That's why I call it gone to the moon. I think metaphors are interesting. Oh, I remember her, I think. I have to help Lola so she won't end up being killed, like this woman will. I wonder, could I save this woman? Could I save them both? I remember the surface house, Sleepy Man, my baby, the woman. And was there a dog? Wait, who is this new woman? What are these odd memories of her? Do I know her? This new woman has an odd name. I know that I have many more memories than this. Where are they? And how do I know? Why do I suddenly remember Lola when I had no recollection of her a moment ago? Lola, yes, I remember her. She is awful to me. She hurts me a lot, but I don't hold that against her. It's not her fault, it's what they did to her. Although I suppose she would have to agree to do it, or it wouldn't work. How do I know that? Wait, where is Lola? Where is her sorrow? Even when she's blank, I can still find her sorrow somewhere, I think. Am I remembering correctly? Or is all this from his memories? Where is she? I try to find her with my mind. Oh, where are we? Are we under the ground? I ask. Why is this hospital under the ground? Why does the window have false sunlight? And what has happened to that flower? The man looks surprised and asks,
Why would you think we're underground?
I can feel the anger rising within him. I know we are under the ground, I answer.
How?
He yells.
How do you know we are under the ground?
I ignore the voice that seems to be connected with my mind and say, I tried to check on Lola, but she is not here. She is nowhere near here, and I can't find her sorrow anywhere. It is a long way to the surface to find the house to check, but she is not there. That other woman who looks like her is there. Where is Lola? He ignores my question, gestures to the woman he still has by the neck, and yells at me.
Tell me what she is thinking. Tell me right now.
I hear in my thoughts.
Little sweetheart, it's me, Ambrielle. You know me, although you probably don't remember right now. We're friends.
I don't remember any friends. All people want to do is hurt me, well, adults anyway, so I ignore this voice that seems to be coming from somewhere above my head. I say, the light coming in this window is wrong. There is another room, a very small room, behind that window, creating this unusual light. It is not the sun. Why? Is that why it looks foggy? There are no trees beyond that window. The trees whisper above, on the surface, not here under the ground. I look at the flower in the vase. Why has this flower been brought here? I ask. It's wrong. It shouldn't be here. It's lost its song. It has no fragrance. I look directly at him and tell him, its light is gone. The man looks confused, so I continue. It's like this flower doesn't really exist, but I can see it. It's right here. I try to find out, but the more I try, the more I am convinced that it is dead, or it can't exist. But it can't be dead because I can see it with my own eyes. It looks healthy. The man is now bewildered, with his anger still rising. I can see that my knowing these things was totally unexpected. In my thoughts, I hear,
Little sweetheart, it's not a real flower. It's fake. Someone made it. Be careful what you tell him.
why is my mind connected to hers? It seemed to happen automatically. I know she is above me on my right, although I can't see anyone there. How can she be there, unseen? Who is she? Is she my guardian angel? I like the idea of a guardian angel. Maybe she's a ghost, an alien, a spirit. We seem connected. Why? A fake flower? Is she telling me the truth? Why would anyone make a fake flower? Flowers' songs and fragrance and lights are what make them so beautiful. Why make a fake one that has none of these things? It makes no sense to me. Should I ask this man, who is working himself into a rage, who this person is?
No.
She quickly shows me some of her memories of him. He screams at me.
Tell me immediately what she is thinking, or I will kill her.
Oh, what should I do? This man. All those memories that floating person showed me, they are real. And his memories are not just him remembering what he imagined doing. He really did those things. He has actually murdered so many people. He has tortured me. I wish I didn't know. Not knowing was easier. Again, he screams at me.
Tell me immediately what she is thinking, or I will kill her right now!
She is not thinking, I tell him. She has gone to the moon. She is blank. He screams.
Gone to the moon?!
While trying to control himself enough to ask another question.
How do you remember gone to the moon?
I don't remember. I saw it in your thoughts, I answer. It was what I called it when Lola glitched. He is screaming so loud, although no one in this hospital seems to mind. No one has come to tell him to be quiet. He tightens his grip and lifts the woman by the neck off the floor with one arm. How is this old man so strong? He throws her across the room and she lands with a thud. I see that her forehead is injured and suddenly remember the same thing happening to me. Many times. The main person throwing me was Lola. As she sits up, she touches the red liquid that is now running down her face. She takes a moment to look at it while rubbing it between her fingers, and then wipes it on the floor. She gets some more on both hands from her face, and wipes it back and forth on the floor, both sides of her. Oh, this woman's mind. What have they done to her? Her mind is so much like Lola's. Maybe I really am remembering. Maybe it's not only his memories of her.
Stand up!
The Mangler screams at her, but she doesn't seem to hear him. He grabs her by the neck and holds her up off the floor with one arm straight out, at arm's length. I can feel his rage rising. He is losing control. Why? What is there to be so angry about? The man looks directly at me and screams.
Tell me what I am thinking now!
Why? I ask. Would you answer someone if they rudely screamed a question at you? His face is going red and I can sense that he is losing all control. I say to him, this angry thing that you're doing, I don't understand it. Can you please explain it to me? From what I see, it only makes people do things they regret later. I don't see why anyone would allow anger to control them. Haven't you learned how to control your emotions yet? I can see that the woman has brief moments of lucidity and is wishing that I would just answer him. She is terrified. I will answer his question then, but only for the woman's sake, to alleviate her terror. His thoughts are so loud that I can't help but know them. You are thinking that if I don't answer you, first you will throw the woman across the room and make sure she lands on me. It's not very nice. Then you will, hurt her in front of me and make me watch. That's not very nice either. He doesn't respond, so I continue. Then you plan to put the handle of a knife in my hand and put your hand around mine. You want to make me look her in the eyes when you murder her and then tried to convince me that I did it. Why would you do that? You could change your mind and be kind instead. It's not hard. I could help you. He lets out a deep, long scream. Or is it a moan? I covered my ears. It is so loud. When he eventually stops, I continue in a calm voice, even though I am shaking on the inside. Then you plan to do the same things to me, except you won't to me at the end, because you want to use me as your own personal weapon. He didn't want to know any of that. He wanted me to only see the bowl of ice cream that he was trying to keep in his thoughts. Now he is thinking of what he did to me on many occasions. Horrendous. After that, I continue carefully. You plan to take me back to that memory eradication room in your facility, but not just to steal my memories of what happened here. You plan to do another systematic memory purge on me. You want to leave me with only specific memories and put me back in this hospital bed and start again. Now he is stomping around the room, dragging the terrified woman by the neck with him. Eventually, he slips on the red liquid that she had smeared on the floor earlier. This is ridiculous. A grown man throwing a tantrum. Honestly, he should have learned to control himself by now. It's not that hard. He suddenly flings the woman up high above his head like a rag doll, still holding onto her throat. Oh, he is going to throw her at me. Thank you so much for joining me for cuppa. I appreciate your company.